on values and ethics. They can bring about material growth, but not peace and tranquility. The knowledge that is not complemented by wisdom holds no value, nor does it render meaningful results. Advancements in the field of science and technology did not and will not suffice to eradicate injustices and inequalities either. Rather, such progress may make them magnified and more visible. The digital divide is a striking problem in this regard. Many global South countries, particularly in Africa, are still suffering from a lack of energy infrastructure, let alone having proper connectivity. Dear colleagues, at a point in history when the Internet had not yet been invented, artificial intelligence was not even a science fiction story, and sophisticated weapons had not yet appeared in the battlefield, the UN General Assembly, in its resolution 3384 in 1975, proclaimed, I quote, "All states shall refrain from any acts involving the use of scientific and technological achievements for the purpose of violating the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of states, interfering in their internal affairs, waging aggressive wars, suppressing national liberation movements, or pursuing a policy of radical discrimination. Such acts are not yet only a flagrant violation of Charter of the United Nations and principle of international law, but constitute an inadmissible distortion of the purposes that should guide scientific and technological developments for the benefit of mankind." End of the quote. However, today are dismayed by the ongoing artificial intelligence-assisted genocide in Gaza. We are appalled by reports revealing how technology is being intentionally misused by Israel to conduct indiscriminate attacks on civilians. This techno-brutality, which reduces the lives of Palestinians to sole data points, is enough to explain the atrocities and of catastrophic proportions and the scales of mass destruction. We have recently witnessed the booby-trapped pages being denoted by cyber interference targeting many civilians. We must firmly condemn such application of technology. This is not only a legal obligation, but more importantly, a moral one. It is also time to reflect on establishing necessary mechanisms against the misuse of high technology similar to nuclear arm control. Dear colleagues, uncontrolled aggression is now being waged against Lebanon, pushing us closer to a regional war. We must put a stop to this trend, or we risk drifting into a global dystopian autocracy. The catastrophic situation in Palestine is alarming. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed. Many more were wounded, went missing or perished under the rubble. Gaza has become a ghost town. Millions have been displaced again and again. We are at the peak point of decades of long occupation, brutality, and denial of inherent interest. Israel's genocidal war against the Palestinian people must stop. The occupation and the colonization of Palestinian land, must end. All hostages and detainees must be released. Access to humanitarian aid must be secured. International Justice Court's decision must be implemented. The two-state solution is the only formula for peace and security in the region. Therefore, recognition of Palestine as an independent, sovereign, and contiguous state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital must also be supported. The IPU should endorse these messages and principles in order to draw attention to the appalling Israeli occupation and to make a strong call for peace and two-state solution. The IPU cannot and should not turn a blind eye for a third time on this critical issue. I therefore declare our firm support for the proposal by Palestine and Algeria aiming at bringing up an emergency item on the agenda. I call on delegates to lend their support as well. I thank you so much for your support to the Free Palestinian State.
With the Speaker of Slovakia. Mr. Speaker, you have the floor.